Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer, an RPG by Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson-Morgan. You can find it at Massive Press on itch.io. In our last session, the DBC crew worked their way through the Periapsis-controlled gate station while trying to avoid patrols, traps, and security systems. With mixed luck, they progressed towards the control room, but also lost artificial gravity, turned off all the station lighting, and got more than a fair share of minor electrocutions. Now, Rock and Evelene find themselves in a room with a masked combatant wielding motorized arm blades. And Dyne and Astro are locked outside. Now, it's time to see what our pilots can do. Welcome back, pilots.
Run!
Why do you need to run? You're behind a door.
We don't know what's going on inside. For all we know, they could be having a fun time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a party, and you guys weren't invited, and you feel real miffed off about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what that means. We have to blow open the door. We need to get to that party.
There could be pizza in there.
Time to charm a door.
Oh, shit.
You don't hear like the chainsaw?
Really?
You don't hear like the chainsaw revving on the other side of the door?
Yeah, it just you just hear like this loud sound. You're like, they have a motorized pizza cutter?
I mean, if anyone among this group of people are prepared for a pizza party, it's the chainsaw man.
Yes, he is always prepared.
I was going to say, Evelene prepared that in advance.
I just think they're playing like harsh noise dubstep in there.
What kind of music do you listen to?
So as kind of like a reminder, you guys are in 0G because all the gravity got turned off in the station. All the lights are out, so except for what light you bring with you, everything is turned off. And this room, as you entered it, was particularly creepy. Just, things floating around, knocking off walls in odd ways. As soon as two of you, specifically Rock and Evelene, moved their way into the room, the door slammed shut and locked behind you. At the same time as through a hatch in the ceiling, a lithe person just shot down into the area with you as you heard him land quite soundly on one of the desks in this room, flashed out both arms, and then you just see these long blades on both of his arms, and as he makes fists with both hands, you see the blades at the end of the blades coming off the back of his arms just start to whir. He has some sort of crazy motorized arm blades. He's wearing a very angular mask, and I figured out how to describe what I'm picturing in my head a little bit better. So the mask he's wearing is basically the same mask that the Ironclad wears in Slay the Spire.
Let me just Google that real quick.
It's like
Slay the
so
Spire.
in Slay the Spire, the Ironclad is like the first character you start off with. He's like the first class that you can be. And if you look at the mask that the Ironclad wears in Slay the Spire, it is the same type of mask that this guy is wearing.
Oh, it's a giant whale.
Oh yeah, the giant whale in Slay the Spire is pretty cool.
There's a whale?
Yeah, at the beginning of every run.
Greetings.
And then painted on this angular mask where his mouth would be is like a shark's mouth painted on the metal.
He's really going for an aesthetic, and I have to give him credit. He's doing pretty well with it.
So as he lands in this dark room, did one of you bring light with you, right? Like Rock, is it on the end of your gun or whatever?
It's on the gun.
Yeah. So in just this beam of light, you see illuminated this figure, this imposing figure. And let's just get off to the races. What do you do?
Quick question. The hatch that he came out of, is it still open or did it close?
It is still open. It's like a hatch that flipped down into the room. You know what I mean? So it's like an actual hatch. So as he burst through it, it waved into the room and is staying that way.
What else is in the room floating around us or
I
otherwise?
think there's a bunch of desks,
there
right?
are filing cabinets, there are desks, and there are office chairs.
Okay.
So I'm gonna we're just gonna game plan for the first few minutes, if that's all right. I was thinking immediately, we should go in opposite directions because you can't obviously go after both of us at the same time. But besides that, I think I just had bad plans, and I think that was your case too, Jay.
I think you guys should ignore him and make him think he's a ghost.
I mean, that is a plan. I didn't say it was a good one, though.
I'm sure it'll work.
I'll say in character. You think he's going to talk to us?
No, I don't think he is.
So as you side mouth to Evelene, you think he's going to talk to us as you keep your weapon trained in his direction. He steps forward onto this floating desk and pushes off of it, and then faster than you thought he would be, launches himself towards you. What do you do?
Okay. I would like to. Is there a desk in front of us?
You can say yeah. Totally.
Around us?
Yeah.
I'll just grab the closest desk. It doesn't matter. It's 0G. I can move this thing if I want.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I'll just throw it so that at him. I know it won't even slow him down, but he's at least blinded to where we are, and then just push away from Evelene.
Totally.
I actually want to see how fast he cuts through this desk too, to see how sharp his blades are.
Yeah, great. So what I'm going to say is this assassin and also your friend's attempts to help you in some way, we're going to call this a skill challenge.
Oh, no.
So a skill challenge is when a group of players are working together to achieve an objective. Everyone is going to be making checks to try and get things done that'll further the skill challenge. In Lancer, skill challenges are often one and done type things. Either everyone succeed, more than half of you succeed or not. But I'm going to do this as an extended challenge. So it has several rounds of rolling outcomes, and what the outcome will be of this extended challenge will be determined by how many rounds of this challenge are quote unquote won by the players. So depending on how many rounds you guys fail or succeed through dealing with this guy is going to turn in where things go.
You're starting to make it seem like my plan to one-shot him isn't going to work, Bob.
I mean, we'll see. All right.
I don't think it will.
All right, so
probably not.
Yeah, Rock, you wanna either distract or at least buy yourself some time here. Is that what I'm getting from this?
Yeah. Throw it in front of his vision and push away to buy some room.
Yep, just kind of making your guys some room to work, which is good because he was trying to kill you. So the consequence of this failure would be that you don't buy yourself much time, and he's on top of you. You'll lose positioning. So now, Rock, what kind of triggers do you want to activate here? Also consequences. I already set it's going to be that you lose positioning and he'll be right on top of you. I'm also invoking Risky because he has blade arms.
That's not risky at all.
Risky for him or risky for us?
Risky only goes one way.
I mean,
it's risky for Evelene.
Shut up.
In this situation, I'm not sure if these skill triggers are always going to work the same way, but get somewhere quickly is where I'm leaning towards.
That sounds appropriate for what you're trying to accomplish.
I would also. And are there limits to which ones we use for future rolls or anything?
No,
I'm assuming
no limits.
We're going to get multiple rounds.
No. So I'm not imposing limits. I will say if you lean too heavily on using the same thing over and over, I will start to make the checks more difficult because that's kind of you running out of ideas, right? So it might be a riskier check, or I might add difficulty in the future. But no, if it's narratively appropriate, use the same trigger multiple times.
Okay. Because I would also say that read a situation, the imposing threat of him jumping at me, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, get somewhere quickly works for me.
Somewhere quickly makes the most sense here, I feel.
All right. D20 plus 2. And I rolled a 21.
That's good.
19 for anyone counting.
Oh, let me refresh my roll 20.
No, just believe us. We're telling the truth here.
If
It's
you go for
definitely
a fresh, you're
21.
going to see the same thing. It's fine.
He doesn't need to.
What a bold claim I make to try to cheat while his roll 20 randomly isn't working.
Oh, here we go.
I deserve that cheat then. Shit.
All right, yeah, 21, perfect. So you push through the risky completely. You just throw this, like how do you throw the desk at him? You narrate a little bit.
I mean, you turn the like desk side. I just imagine a generic desk, right? You turn
Sure.
like the wide like vision covering side, the front side, top side, whatever, towards him and just kind of push. I don't even push heavy, just lightly, so it's floating in.
Yeah, you just
covering his vision.
You just like flip the top towards him and then just shove it at him, and it starts flying towards him.
Yeah, and then I just push on Evelene, which pushes us both opposite directions. Ideally.
All right. Cool.
Perfect.
So you succeed. So you buy yourself time and you guys are able to split up. So if he wants to do something, he'll now have to focus on one or the other of you for the moment. So you throw this desk at him, you shove Evelene one way, you dash the other way. As you have to move, your flashlight is like just kind of like bobbing around the room, so you can't get full view on him. But the sparks definitely give away where he is, as you just hear this horrible grinding, cutting noise as these like sparks illuminate this desk just being sheared into 3 pieces as he cuts it in like an X motion, and then they start flying to different parts of the room.
How long did it take him to cut? Was it basically like butter?
Couple of seconds.
Okay.
Maybe because I rolled so high, or maybe just because I see. Can I tell like what kind of armor he has on? Are there any soft points around the joints or back of the neck or anything like that I can see?
You bought yourself some time, so I'm going to say that without doing more, I'm not going to give you extra, but what is apparent, because you weren't in danger of getting cut up, is it looks like he's just wearing like a black bodysuit and jacket.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay. That's perfectly what I want to know.
And he just happened to have mechanical, I don't know, extensions or whatever on his arm that
He
happened to
like
have
mounted
blades.
onto the back of both of his arms is like an apparatus that has these motorized arm blades coming out of them, going over the tops of his arms.
Okay, that's doable, or less of a challenge than full body armor.
I mean, he's got chain swords on his hands.
But
I
he
really
got-
don't. I don't want to downplay that now.
No. He could have chain swords and body armor, and now we know that isn't true.
You're right. Armor would make this more challenging. Anyway, who wants to go next?
Can I go?
Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah.
So Dyne was with Evelene when he heard with the guards talking. So he may not know everything that's going on inside, but he has an idea that the leader of the group is inside. So he is going to look at Astro and hold out his hand and goes, "Give me the thermite charge." And
Do you have one?
Yeah, you remember I have that.
yes, I do.
Oh, I forgot you had some too. Okay.
Yeah.
So Dyne is going to try to set up a thermite charge to blow open the door using Stay Cool, which requires me to perform a task that requires concentration, dexterity, speed, or precision. And I think Dyne needs all of those at the moment.
Okay. Just because of the timing and because of the risks involved, I'm going to call this risky still, because you don't know where your allies are on the other side.
I understand, and that's something that Dyne is considering, but we don't have another... He doesn't know of a faster way to open the door.
Okay, so consequences of failure here are the danger of injuring yourself or your allies.
Before he loads it, or before he does this, Dyne is just going to say, "Astro, get back." He assumes Astro is smart enough to not be standing next to an active thermite.
I'm not going to place Astro at risk. That Astro will be safe here. Specifically, I'm worried about either you or Evelene.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
As long as the talent is unharmed.
We don't want to ruin Astro's face. That is Dyne's #1 priority.
Remember, no hitting of the face.
Okay, so I will roll a 1d20 plus 4, and I rolled a 14.
Oh, 14. Okay. So you get what you want, which is the door goes away. The door goes away, and you're trying to be quick and fast with it. You're pretty good. You're able to get it. You're able to back up quickly enough. That's what the success gets you. The downside of this is Evelene was merely shoved aside and has not had a chance to right herself yet.
Damn it.
So as this thermite blows through the door, or burns very brightly and hotly through the door into this dark room, Evelene, you're momentarily blinded. No matter what you do this turn, you'll get 1 extra difficulty to try and do it.
Sorry.
Well,
So I'm not gonna hurt you, but I am going to make whatever you do harder because you weren't ready for this blinding light to appear.
Well, the thing that I was planning on doing that requires a lot of eyesight is probably not going to be done now.
Keep that in mind.
Before my turn ends, what state is the door in? I mean, obviously it's been pushed in, but is it like in one piece, multiple pieces?
It's like a future-ish thermite, and I assume you applied it correctly. So assume that a small rectangle of it has burned away, but it's in 0 Gs, and so it's still kind of obscuring your way in slightly. Okay. But it wouldn't be like a barrier to you getting in, but keep in mind that it's kind of still there.
Okay. Just making sure so other people know, because I assume they saw the thermite blow the door.
Yeah, everyone sees that. Yeah.
Okay, that's all Dyne was going to do.
All right, what's COMET and/or Evelene doing?
I'd like to use my my action to try to find a place to do like some quick MacGyver work on something. Just like distance myself and hide behind a desk.
Just like get yourself out of the way and hopefully unnoticed. That sounds very stealthy.
I'm banking on Rock being sort of a distraction. Sorry.
Rock and the door?
Well, that too, yes.
Whatever gave you the impression that Rock was any kind of an intention whore?
I mean, anyway, I was thinking about using Stay Cool potentially. Because that's the only thing I have that really applies here. I know I'm going to have difficulty, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is what you're really doing is trying to act unseen or unheard, which is a very specific skill trigger that already exists. I don't think you're trying to get out of the way to buy yourself time to do this thing. So I think that maybe Stay Cool could apply to doing something under pressure, but you're specifically trying to get unnoticed so that it doesn't focus on you, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different.
Okay, then it'll just be a straight D20 roll then.
Yeah, D20 minus the difficulty.
Is this regular type of roll, or is it risky?
This is still risky because you're still one of his targets.
Shit. Okay. Well,
and you're right there. He jumped in your direction, and you got pushed out of the way, but you're probably still a target nearby.
For sure. Yeah, I don't have anything that can help me with this, so I'm just gonna have to. This is not gonna be a good roll. I already know it because it's actually impossible for me not to get at least some negative outcome because of the negative D6.
Is what it is.
Yeah, we'll hope for the best. Fantastic. I got a wait. What? Oh yeah,
you rolled a 1.
You rolled a 7 minus 6.
It's an unnatural one, so that's something at least.
Very unnatural. All right, that's
you could try
bad.
to push it for a heroic. Well, yeah, I don't even know if.
So that's what I was going to offer you, Evelene. So if you push it, you can retry that roll, but it makes the roll upgrade from risky to heroic, and I can do more bad things to you if you fail it. I don't think you can even get above a 20, though.
It would be impossible.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother. I will take the one like a man and hope I still have my limbs at the end of it.
Yeah, so you're kind of blinded, disoriented. This man with arm blades launched himself at you, And as Rock goes one way and you go to the other, he can tell you're struggling a little bit more, and you both pick up very quickly that this assassin does not seem to be the one worried about always sticking with the most combat ready. He's willing to take pot shots. It seems.
He's not following an aggro table at all.
No, because as he flies towards you, Evelene, you see him. Even in this 0G, something pulls him towards the ground. You see like his feet slightly tap the ground, and then he pushes his body weight towards you, and then for a second you see something happen on the ground and his feet lift off and push him in your direction, as he swings his arm blades at you.
Real quick,
yeah.
Is the floor made of metal?
Yes.
So obviously you may not be able to answer this question.
No, it's made of lava.
Oh, that makes this even harder now. Is there any? I don't know if you can answer this, but is there any chance it looks like mag clamps or something on his?
It looks like it might be. If it was a very expert use of them to maneuver. But he launches himself towards you. These whirring blades. You're still a little bit blinded, and you just get a very ragged cut along one arm. You're able to like kick away from him before he kills you, and throw yourself back into the wall. And he's pushed back as well and has to like reach out with one arm and grab like the wall to prevent himself from going further away. But there is just blood seeping out of your wound into the 0G now. You take 4 damage.
Okay.
All right. I believe we need to know what Comet or Astro, our friend Astro, is
All
up
right.
to.
So I am going to activate my stealth hard suit, which makes me invisible. And I'm going to push myself into the room and try to find a position where I can flank him or come up from behind and attack.
All right, so you're gonna knock the debris of the door into the room and then try and situate yourself in the room in such a way where people don't know where you are.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be using my act unseen or unheard skill trigger. Couldn't think of the phrase.
All right. Because you are using the stealth ability of the stealth hard suit, and also because this is, well, you don't really know, but the only indication of you entering the room is that the debris kind of gets pushed in, like as if someone had entered.
Yeah.
So it's possible he might know that someone has entered. But we're going to roll to find that out. So I'm going to give you accuracy on this roll. It is not risky. Normal check.
All right. Let's roll it up. I rolled a 17.
17's what you need. You push yourself into the room with the remnants of the door kind of getting pushed in. And how do you get out of the way in this room? Where do you go? What are you imagining Astro doing?
Basically, like wherever his focus is on, I'm gonna head off in the opposite direction and try to flank him.
Away from Evelene. Got it. Okay.
Away from Evelene, but I'm gonna try to come up from behind and surprise him once I do attack with my shotgun or whatever. So basically he pushes himself into the room, and then once he's in the room, he pushes away from Evelene and where he's focused, and kind of finds maybe some debris to take cover behind as he positions himself behind Chainsaw Dude.
All right. That sounds good. You accomplish that. You get in, you get hidden. No one knows where you are. All right.
Boost.
How well did that work last time?
All right, everyone. We know what everyone has done over these first few critical seconds. Who wants to take initiative here?
So I've got a plan / idea, but I feel like it will take multiple rolls.
A plidea.
So if I go last and then take up like 2 of my turns in a row, does that make sense?
Just so that you can follow through immediately.
Yeah, because this is going to be like I'm kind of like working on something while fighting him kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so I'll go last then.
I'll go again. Just in case the situation changes, I like where I am. So basically, I'm just going to shoot him with my shotgun now that I'm in position.
So anyways, I started blasting.
Thank you.
Everyone thought it.
I don't really have a skill trigger for that. I'm just going to
Shoot him
attack.
with my gun.
Yeah, This I'm downgrading from risky to a normal check because you're invisible.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's
because of the positioning you got on him, engaging this guy on this turn won't be a risky check for you.
Okay, cool. Let's roll this up. Wish there's a button just for rolling a skill check without a trigger.
You mean just a D20?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could just.
Man, I wish there was a button for just rolling a D20, like the millions of buttons in this system that just roll a
need
D20.
some new online tools to help us out, guys. I think ours are crap.
It's really
immediately
hard.
Didn't
grabs
roll
a die.
D20s in it.
All right, I rolled an 8. I think I'm going to push it.
All right, so
if I can.
Yeah, okay, great. I love this because what happens here is because you're pushing it, you get to just try again, but it upgrades it from a normal roll to risky. You have to push yourself a little bit further out there. What I imagine is maybe you do get that first shot off, and it just goes wide completely because it's so dark in here, right? And he's moving so quickly. You just fire into an area where he used to be, right? And it just clangs off the wall. But you have enough time, but you've given yourself away. So the reason it's risky is because now you're just actually engaging him.
Right, makes sense. All right. Oh, okay. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Ooh, even worse, a 5.
That's not what you want.
No, it's not, sir.
So, Evelene will be happy to know that as this shotgun blast kind of flies towards this unnamed assassin. Well, actually, everyone will be disturbed by this. Just Evelene will be glad that it's not directed at her any longer. So,
yes,
Astro, you were on target. You shot him. What you weren't expecting is that when you shot him, his skin scratched instead of bleed. As you can see, his skin almost scrape off like paint as his head turns to face you.
It's very unnerving, I have to say.
There is like shiny metal underneath, and you quickly realize this guy has dermal plating. And then launches himself at you.
I'm sure he does.
All right. So for that, he just like charges at you. He like goes to spear you. Basically, he holds both blades out in front of him and just like launches off the wall like a diver. And you are able to move aside quickly, but he cuts you along your mid torso. You are wearing a stealth hard suit, right?
Correct.
Oh, well, I guess that doesn't actually matter. He does major damage here. So he is going to do 5 damage as he cuts you along the side of your torso.
Okay. Bob, are you tracking my HP?
No.
Did I get hurt last time?
Some of you did get hurt last time, yes.
You got hurt, and I know I healed you before the door closed.
Let's take an accounting of that right now. Where are all of you in terms of health?
8 out of 11.
11 out of 11.
5 out of 11.
So roll 20 says I'm full health, but ComCon says I'm at 6 out of 8. Do you remember, Jeremy, if like it healed me back to full health?
I can read you what a patch does. It restores half of your health.
Okay.
No, you got hurt pretty badly, I thought. And
yeah, I
then
think I
you healed
did.
half of it.
So
You're at 6, so you're at 1 now.
So you're at 1
Yes,
health
I am.
now. All right, so Chimera's at 5, Orion's at 11, Rock's at 8, and Comet's at 1.
That's right.
Mhm.
Cool. Comet, your side got ripped open.
Yeah, ouch.
You pull away, and he doesn't take you out, but that's not good.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
So you all see him nearly off your captain. Who wants to go now?
But his face is okay, right?
As far as you're aware. The
Just
blood
put my
loss
head
is
in a
making
jar.
it look a little pale, though.
Can you cover it up with makeup?
I can go next if that's all right.
Sure, go ahead.
Actually, real quick, Bob. Am I still like out in the? Well, I did get cut up, so I'm still kind of out in the open, aren't I?
Yeah, you didn't progress your goals yet.
Can I make another attempt at progressing my goals?
You can, whatever you want to do. You tell me what Chimera is doing in this situation.
Yeah, I still want to get some distance between me and the guy so that I can do the thing I want to do to kill the guy.
Okay.
So, what is it? Another risky roll, or is it regular difficulty? Because he's
Tell me exactly what you're trying to do. What's the positive outcome from this roll for you?
the positive outcome is that I will be enough distance away that I don't have to be worried about being interrupted as I put something together.
Okay, so you're trying to get to the far end of the room. So this is just making distance for you.
Yes.
For this, I would allow stay cool, because it's not about... You're just trying to act with dexterity or speed under pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
he's not cutting you to bits right now. You can just run away.
Run away to see another day. And I rolled for fuck's sake, a 10.
A 10. That's lucky this isn't a risky roll.
Yeah,
A 10 is
I know.
just a success. Yeah,
I know,
so
man.
Comet, as this thing cuts through your side, you see Chimera just dart to the other side of the room. All right, I assume that Orion, hearing this chaos happening inside, wants to do something now.
At least I served as a distraction, if nothing else.
Did our sort of mechanic make it?
Okay, so Orion is going to dash into the room. He's going to see our near-dead captain. He's going to see, I guess not dash, I guess float quickly into the room, whatever, the equivalent. He's going to see Evelene floating away. And so what Orion is going to try to do is to use the debris that's floating in the room to try and put objects in between, like push objects in between our the people in here and the guy, so that he doesn't have a direct line of sight to them as he's bouncing around the room.
So you're just making chaos. Like you get in the room and you're like grabbing every desk and just flipping it into the air, grabbing every like you're just making it difficult terrain, basically. You're like grabbing the filing cabinets, opening the drawers, and then throwing the drawer full of like papers
Pretty
into
much.
the air and stuff.
Like Orion noticed, this guy likes flying around the room, so he's going to make it as difficult as possible because since he's in 0G, he has to have a direct line in order to move. It's not like he can bounce off the walls.
It's going to work really well with me if you do this, by the way.
I don't have the closest skill trigger I can have to this is either stays cool or spot. I don't think either. I guess stay cool, spot, and I don't really work with this. But like, I don't.
Dexterity, concentration, dexterity, speed, or precision. It's not a good match.
No, it's not. Because I don't really have any other.
This is kind of like an improvise sort of like or a tactical style thing.
Yeah.
So you're giving him pilot grit, is what you're saying.
No. Don't look at that +2. Ignore that +2.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna call this a normal roll.
Okay.
But you are trying to get the assassin's attention, which is risky.
That's fine. Okay, so I'll just roll a 1d20, and I rolled a 7. Okay.
So the problem is, you make a lot of noise with like the very first thing you go to do this with, and this very lithe assassin, cybernetic apparently assassin, catches on to what you're doing immediately and just launches himself straight towards you. And even with the debris in the way, he cuts through it like he's bushwhacking through a jungle. He doesn't even bother like changing his route. He just cuts a straight line to you, and he bursts out of like a bundle of papers that he cuts in half as he hacks towards you. This is going to be 3 pilot damage.
Does that take into account the 1 armor I have from my assault hard suit?
Now you say I have armor, and that goes down to 2.
Yes. Okay, I have armor, so I am now at 9 out of 12. Excellent.
Hey, Jeremy, what did you say?
11.
Patch does again?
It restores half HP.
Half HP. Okay, I went back and looked at our old logs. I think I went down to 4 out of 8, and then I healed myself with the patch, and I should be back at full health. Good thing we have these logs. Yeah, I was at 6 out of 8 at one point. Then I went down to 5, and then 4, and then I didn't have the thing where I healed myself. So I think I'm
unless the other damage happened after you originally got patched. Like
it was the last thing we did.
Okay.
Because
I think I just
right
forgot
as soon as I was healing him, the door closed.
All right, I'm willing to give you 2 health back. That'll bring you up to 3.
Yeah,
because that's what you would have been if you were at full.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna make a note
you
of that.
you would be at 3, so we'll just call you at 3. Yep.
Okay, that's a little less fucked up
You're
than
a
I
little
thought
less
I was.
dead. Yeah.
So even though I know that I got injured, Bob, Dyne is still going to be floating around the room trying to cause as much chaos as possible while avoiding him.
Yeah.
Even though he got nicked. So he's still going to try to continue it.
Yeah, narratively, that's what you were still in the middle of. So that's what's happening right now. As he is like chasing you and like cutting your things down as you're like throwing them at him. Rock, you're up.
All right. So, what? Now I would have seen the dermal armor on him as well, right?
Yeah, when it was very apparent when the shotgun made sparks as it hit off of his skin and like didn't cut into his flesh.
Okay. But I'm led to believe that there's still a human in there somewhere.
You've seen dermal armor before, and it quite exactly is that. It is like a layer under the epidermis that is like metal. So it is still a human in there. He still has skin and he still has like muscle and stuff. It is like a thin layer of cybernetic hardening that is on over top of his body.
And something that would be allowed in something like that would be like a syringe needle.
If you could make an opening in it, you could. Yes. The thing is that it is hardened enough that you could not pierce him without like injuring an area of that plating first with a normal syringe.
Okay.
It is like there is a layer there's a subcutaneous layer of metal throughout his body. And unless you know exactly where a gap in that would be, it's almost impossible to find one.
Okay.
Just guessing.
Do I know that if there would be a gap in like joints or anything?
Usually not even, because it stretches and folds and stuff depending on how expensive it is or like how complete it is, right?
Okay.
You could guess, like you could just get lucky, but it would be like a heroic roll. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
Yeah, like you could get lucky and get under the skin, but it's definitely not likely.
Well, let's try both. So, hoping that his attention is not on me, I'm going to place myself in a corner of the room here. And brace myself to like jump off one of the ways, but not like be in that position, you know?
Yep.
I would like to then shoot towards, preferably around like the nape of the neck area of him, if that opening is there.
Okay.
Also, I'd like to wait until something's floating by that Orion was rolling around.
Okay.
Rolling around.
You can do that.
Okay.
I want to set the stakes beforehand. Because you have no idea where his dermal plating is, you're just kind of like taking a guess, and it's a fair guess. But to get it right with a blind stab, it would be a heroic roll with difficulty.
I want to make it clear, I'm not necessarily... If it does kill him, that would be great. That is not the intent of what I'm trying to do.
Okay, what are you trying to achieve?
I'm trying to shoot at the nape of his neck to weaken it.
Oh, with your gun.
With my gun.
I thought you meant you were launching towards him and trying to stab him with a needle. Okay. I was gonna be like, the needle is probably just gonna break when you try to stab him with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're trying to weaken his armor. So that's the goal you're trying to achieve here. That's a much more reasonable goal. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What I would say is if you're just trying to like hit a specific area on his neck so that you have like a place you know is weakened with a close range shot, I would say that it is risky, and I would not impose difficulty on that. That's like a combat move you would make. That makes sense.
Oh, it goes beyond that.
Okay.
After I shoot the shot, I want to turn myself and the gun and gently like throw my gun towards the direction I was originally planted, preferably with something obstructing my view coming into play, right? Being thrown around the room.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense? So like I'm throwing my gun so he would see the light of the gun moving that opposite way.
Yeah, because it's attached to your
and
weapon,
then I want to quickly reorient myself and jump towards that desk that floated in the way, and then if he cuts it, I want to like get around behind him after he cuts it. And if he follows the gun, I want to jump off it towards him.
Okay. So
that's the scene of what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so that will be your two rolls then. Does that make sense? So this first roll is, you'll get something out of it, but it's also kind of like a setup action. So let's find out the outcome, and then we can go ahead with your plan if things work out for you. So
all right, so I crit, so 24.
Well, there you go.
Holy crap.
I'm sorry. I did assault. If that's not right, then I'll change it to something else.
It should be assault. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I figured, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so
I want your luck, Jay. Can I have your luck, please? No. Can I have your dice rolls?
What's your weapon you're shooting at him with, by the way? It's
it's a medium signature rifle. I imagine it like an assault rifle.
It's a rifle.
Kind of.
So is it like a burst shot? You like jump at him and just fire a couple of bursts right at the base of his spine, of his neck, and then you can see he's like charging towards Orion. Just one arm slices through a desk, one arm slices through a bunch of papers as he's like constantly advancing on Orion. You launch yourself at him. You can see like as you get close, he begins the process of like turning around because he sees your light coming your way, and you get behind him faster than he can turn, and you just squeeze off a few bursts of fire.
I don't have my gun anymore. This is something new
to begin with, right?
Oh, okay.
And they just bam, 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 like hit the back of his neck. And you can tell it actually disorients him. You don't see a spray of blood or anything, but you do see that he is shocked by this, and you see you hear the sounds of like metal hitting off metal, and
angry chainsaw noises. Sure,
and angry chainsaw noises. Yes. All right. Yeah. I mean, I think that perfectly sets you where you wanted to do before. So re-explain what the second part of this maneuver is going to be.
So ideally, there was a desk in the way of us now.
Totally.
Like I just shot before the desk.
Yeah. Like
and then,
Orion flips it up as you shoot by. Yeah.
Right. And then I take my gun, point it towards me forward, which is, I think of it like as like a different direction. Right. So you'd have to and then throw the gun that way with the light, trying to keep it somewhat steady. I immediately turn 90 degrees on the other wall because I was in the corner, and then push off of it towards him.
Yeah, he sees the light go that way as if it was the continuation of your jump.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ready the 2 stims that I have left in my hand.
Gotcha.
If he comes at me, he'll have to go through the desk first, and I'll know it. If he doesn't come at me, then I'm going to grab the desk, jump to the other, like pull it around, and then use it as leverage to jump off for him.
Yeah. So that is what happens. You've made this convincing enough of a maneuver, combined with his disorientation from being shot at close range. He sees the light of your gun and turns away from Orion, and you can see him getting ready to like dash in that direction. So you like spin the table around and like kick off of it to head towards them, right?
Yep.
All right.
And my goal is to flick the nozzle that adjusts how much stimulant goes into it, like break it off practically. It's going to put so much in at once, and jam that into the back of his neck with both of them.
All right. Ooh. And what?
Show off.
Yeah, but what that makes sense. What thing are you using? Is it kick, freeze, or juice?
So it would be 2 sets of juice.
2 sets of juice, yeah.
Yeah, one juice already pushes you to the limits, heightening senses and alertness, reducing fatigue and shortening reaction time. Also occasionally, provokes a rage in some users.
Totally.
So I'm putting 2 of them in, and I imagine that's like 2 full stims at once.
All right, someone. Yeah, you're gonna try and double juice the full.
Now he's even stronger.
All right,
there's a chance, but also usually when you have cybernetics, you have less organics, and you're more, susceptible to things that go through your bloodstream.
Well, let's hope he doesn't have like the cybernetic filtering systems.
Yeah, that's all things that I'm worried about. But you do your best. You
do what you can with what the hand you're dealt. Yeah. So yes, you launch yourself towards him. This is still going to be a particularly precise maneuver. Definitely risky. Very, very risky. And I've already. Ooh boy. Okay, I already know the consequence of failure here is that you're going to be in so close with those syringes that he's going to be able to retaliate with near deadly force.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just on you. You can go on and show off with this. Oh, and it's difficult because it's a small area. So risky, difficult with a high retaliation.
All right, so with the difficulty, I'm just at 9.
Okay, not a success, unfortunately. So with the risky, he spins. You launch towards him. You go to shove these syringes into the back of his neck. Do you want to keep this as an option, or are you willing to give up the syringes to like reduce how bad this is going to be for you? Basically, when you realize the plan is about to not work, are you willing to like give up the syringes to like protect yourself?
Yeah, for sure.
So you use them so much that he spins and just in a wide arc with his arm just cuts through the air where you mostly still were, and just cuts these syringes in half as their juice just leaks into the air, and also cuts you right across the chest just below your neck, like at the top of like where your collarbone is. You get a deep gash across the side of your chest, across the front of your chest, as you find like a I suppose like one of these bits of debris, and you just like push off and like get away from him just in time. You are going to take 6 pilot damage as he cuts right across your sternum.
All right.
Things are not looking good for the DBC crew.
It would help if we would roll better than,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Difficulty.
Yeah, it is what it is. Todd, did you want to do anything, or I was hoping to go next if you don't have anything?
Go for it.
Okay. Now that I assume this is happening all while Rock is trying out his plan.
Totally.
I'd like to jury rig my blaster in a very specific way. I'm going to tone down the strength to its bare minimum. So, like, I don't know if there's a level below stun, but just enough to emit a force. And then I'd like to work a custom cartridge using some parts I have. Like, either we can use like the welding kit or something, but work a cartridge in that it basically holds the thermite charge. And the intent is that I should be able to shoot the gun and one not set off the thermite charge. I was actually looking it up. Thermite is ignited by chemical or heat, so physical motion will not set it off.
That's correct. Yes.
And then the intent is that this is not part of the roll, but the intent is that a future roll would be to shoot the said cartridge at Chainsaw Guy and either land on him or it's an explosive. So like horseshoe rules apply. Like if I can get close to him or he attacks it, I mean, I imagine the blades are gonna set off some sort of heat, which also would cause it to explode. But just setting up the gun in the first place is what this roll is.
So you're trying to set up a gun to emit like a shock wave that'll push the thermite charge towards the assassin.
Yeah, basically set off that motion. So like it's not actually in the cartridge, it's just sitting in front of it.
Yeah, I get you. You're trying to tone down your blaster so that it literally just like shoots a shock wave.
Yeah, and I could like put some plating on the back of the thermite too, just as a safety precaution. Just like, a little extra plating so it doesn't actually pierce it. Your call on the difficulty of the roll, of course.
Why not just throw it at him?
Well, the problem is he'll see it.
You're hoping that the gun will shoot it towards him faster than he can respond to it appearing.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Understood. Yes. Yeah, I'd say that this is something that you can attempt. It is not risky. It is... No. I wouldn't even say it's difficult. This isn't difficult for you. It is risky because you're under pressure trying to fiddle with your weapon.
Yes.
But the risk is not coming from the enemy.
Okay. And I would like to invoke creative engineering for this.
Yeah, totally. That's what this is.
So that is a 20 plus 2 minus... You said this was risky?
Risky, yes.
Okay. Yep, that roll looks right. And 11.
11. Okay, so success with downside. So you set up your gun to do this thing. That worked. You were able to get your gun into this state, but doing it under pressure has ruined this gun.
That's fair.
For the remainder of this mission, you no longer have a ranged weapon except this, and it does like a light shock wave that'll hit something a couple inches away from it.
Yeah, I mean, with the number of enemies running around this station, I'm sure I can pick up a new gun at some point, hopefully.
All right, there you go. Yeah, you successfully jury-rigged your gun to not ignite the thermite charge, but basically force push it towards the assassin.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, we've seen what Rock and Chimera are doing during this onslaught. What is either Dyne or Astro doing?
I don't know. Not much. Dyne didn't plan much beyond causing chaos.
I mean, it's good. It's helpful.
He caused a lot of chaos. Not a lot of good it did us so far.
If you want, I can go.
Go right ahead. I'll continue to think.
Sure. Basically, after taking a blow from this guy, I'm gonna try to get to safety again. Just by, if I can, reactivate my stealth hard suit and get to a safe position away from this guy, so I can try to take another shot.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a pilot check.
Yeah. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to minimize everything. Hold on. All right. So I'll roll this. No difficulty. What do I have? 14.
All right. Yeah. While he is focused on other things, you readjust your suit as you all see Astro fade out of sight in this already super dark room. And yeah, you can kind of move from your original position in such a way that it would be unsure where you are.
Okay. Great.
All right, Dyne.
I'm going to say that I think it's reasonable to assume that Dyne saw Rock shoot at the guy's neck.
Oh yeah, it happened right next to you.
So I'm going to say while the guy was swinging around, turning at Rock, Dyne is going to try and aim to hit the same spot.
Yeah, so he launches himself. So after Rock launched himself to try and use the syringes on him, as the assassin is currently engaged with attacking Rock in retaliation, you can try and use that as a distraction. Totally.
I'm going to say, because I'm trying to hit a specific spot that I know Rock hit, would I be able to invoke Spot, which is spot details, objects, or people that are hidden or difficult to make out? I'm specifically trying to hit a specific location. Aim at a specific spot. It's a little bit...
That would help you find the thing, but there's nothing in there about taking action on that. It's a gaining information style roll.
Okay. I'll just roll the D20 then.
Well, I was going to say... luckily for you, I would have told you to use Stay Cool on this. It requires concentration, dexterity, and speed, right?
And I guess precision under pressure.
Yeah, you're very specifically trying to snipe a spot on his neck while he's attacking your friend, right?
Yeah. Okay. I will follow up with that then. So that will give me a +4. Any difficulty?
Let me check something here. Because now that I read it again, it's all about doing things that are non-combat related. It's like picking a lock, avoiding code, disarming explosives, unjamming a gun.
It's not really
complicated in a high-stress situation. Yeah, this is more assault or something like that. You know what I mean?
Which I don't really have.
Yeah. I'm going to call it risky because, of course, you would draw his attention back to you if you fail. And it is difficult because you're trying to hit a very specific location.
All right, I am ready to roll a negative number. How about you?
We'll see.
And I rolled a 9.
A 9.
I told you.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, so close to 10.
So what kind of weapon does Dyne use?
I believe
Assault rifle? Yeah.
Medium
Rifle.
signature, right? So
Yeah.
you've said that was kind of like an assault rifle, kind of like what Rock's using. You fire some bursts, you trying to get towards his neck, but he is just moving too fast. The dark is too dark. Your friend is in danger, and their squabble. You're trying not to hit Rock. The assassin grows tired with dealing with Rock constantly dodging his attacks, so he changes tact, launches himself at you, Orion, and you still try to fire off a few rounds to kind of like keep him off target, but he just flies through them with just like flashes of sparks coming off of him as he slams into you, throwing you into a wall. So he did not use his arm blades on this. You're not taking damage here. What you are taking is you've been slammed into a wall, and he is approaching to try and finish you off, so to speak.
Okay.
If something is not done about it, he is going to do deadly level damage to Orion this next round.
Can I shoot a thermite charge at him while he's distracted by this?
I mean, we're going into the next round, so yeah, if you want to be the first to go.
Hey, would everyone be cool if I went next?
I guess you can certainly try, as long as I'm not blown up by the thermite charge.
Well,
Yeah, get on the back of his neck.
I mean, I was aiming for his back. Yes, I'll aim for a very tiny part on his neck for a very large explosion. Sure. Positioning wise, Bob, is Evan like facing his back, or like
you're like to the side of him? You're like looking at his left arm.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to shoot the charge generally at his back. I mean, I honestly just want to get close enough to set it off, but maybe that's the target I'm aiming for.
So you're just like shooting it in his direction to get it behind him.
Ideally, I'd like to let it's gonna be sticky end out. So like if it can stick to him, then I can set it off. The better. But like if he reacts or anything, then I'll just set it off manually or sooner.
Okay. All right. Yeah, absolutely.
So in the very least, I'm going to invoke Stay Cool. It seems appropriate for the situation. Is there any difficulty or anything you're applying to this?
This is definitely a difficult role.
Sure. I wasn't sure if the whole just have to be in vicinity to explode it would mitigate the difficulty, but it is what it is.
Yeah, go for it.
So it does have difficulty?
Difficulty, yes.
Okay, so make sure I can't invoke anything else. Distraction regret. I mean, if it explodes, it would be a distraction, but probably doesn't apply here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, with D20 plus 2 minus D6. Please be a good roll. For fuck's sake. I am going to heroic. Wait, was it
He rolled
risky?
a 3.
It was a 3, yeah, sorry. Was it risky or regular?
No, it was a normal pilot check. Now it'll be risky if you're going to push it, yeah.
I am absolutely going to push it. Here goes. 13.
Okay, 13 on a risky means that something does go bad here. So you are able to fire the charge towards him. But you do run into the issue where he does notice it heading in his direction. He turns as if he's going to get out of the way, and you're like, okay, this is the closest it's going to get, and you just detonate it as quickly as you can.
Yep.
And you do believe that you've hit him. You can tell because as he launches out of the explosion, like some action movie star, you do see that his skin is all fucked up on the front of him that hit the explosion, and looks like torn up a little bit. And you can see a little bit of blood welling up in his clothing. But he does launch himself through the explosion at you. My friend, are going to...
I mean, I'm still behind the desk, if that means anything.
He cuts through it.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, as opposed to no desk, I feel like I got a little more reaction time then.
You take 3 pilot damage.
This is fine.
Don't worry. Evelyn's fine. As he cuts through the desk, and as he rips his blade upward, the arm that you were using to hold the gun, he just cuts along your arm, and you actually drop your weapon as it floats away from you as you try to pull away so he doesn't cut you in half.
Okay, well, I mean, he has a big ass target on his chest to shoot at least.
Yeah, the front of him looks pretty, like the front of his chest looks pretty screwed up, and his mask, like the paint that he had on the mask is like all torn away, so you can only see remnants of the paint on the front of his mask. It's like covered with explosion raggedness. It doesn't seem to have slowed him down, though.
I could really use a health pack soon. I'm at 2 health.
I only had 1.
I know. I'm saying in general. I'm not saying anyone needs to give me one because I know we don't have one.
All right.
What armor are you wearing, Evelyn?
Hard suit. Oh wait, don't you get armor
you have
for that?
1 armor.
Oh shit! Then I should have 2 more health then.
Oh yeah, because you would have had 1 left from both of those last 2 attacks.
Yep.
Thank you for reminding me. You have saved my bacon.
I was looking at your health and I'm like, it's the same as mine. Wait.
All right. So Evelyn does cause an explosion that seems to have hurt the assassin. Who wants to go next? I think that was the end of the round, so it can be any of you. Evelyn just started this one.
Okay. I'm thinking. So is Dyne out of immediate danger now, then?
He's no longer pinned against the wall. Yes.
Okay.
Surprisingly, the guy was nice enough to take the brunt of the thermite charge explosion.
Yeah, I was afraid to say anything about that, in case Bob remembered.
If it wasn't for that, I was going to try to physically pull him away. So that was better. All right, well, I can go, and I think I'm just gonna, now that I've repositioned myself, I'm gonna shoot at him again.
All right.
Make sure to shoot at him from the front.
Fire your shotgun at him.
Yep. Pew pew. Anything I need to any difficulty?
No, because it is you who have taken up an invisible position again. I'm not going to add risky to this.
All right. Let's roll it up. 19. That's more like it.
Hey. So yeah, from your hidden position, as he advances on Chimera through the explosion, cuts Chimera as Chimera backs off. You catch him with your shotgun blast right in the shoulder and along his like front right side as you fire a blast at him, and you can see his shoulder and whole left side like jerk back as the shock of the blast hits him. He is thrown off and gives Evelyn some time to like scurry away. He's not moving nearly as fast as he was before, but his eyes do turn in your direction that the shotgun blast came from.
Can I point at someone else and say, it was me?
No, do it. Actually do it.
Either Dyne or Rock.
Yeah.
I guess I can follow up with that. So when Astro like starts pointing people, he's like, it wasn't me. Dyne takes one of like maybe like a floating chair or floating desk and throws it at his side, so that when it hits him, it kind of forces his front to face Dyne, and then Dyne will take aim and fire at him.
All right, yeah, go for it. Just kind of trying to like draw his attention towards you and then fire.
Yeah, and pretty much to force his more exposed areas to be facing where Dyne is firing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any skill triggers for this, so 17.
Okay. It is risky. I forgot to mention that.
That's fine. I was well aware.
That was a success, despite the risky, so you'll get some short-term downside, which is you draw his attention, and he launches towards you. He can tell that you're still doing pretty okay. So he just wants to go all in on you, but you just keep firing at him as he's launching towards you. You feel like you've broken through his armor on his direct front, but that doesn't make him any less frightening as he launches towards you with his motorized arm blades. Perhaps more so because the bleeding doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much. As he just starts hacking and swinging in your direction. You're able to duck to one side for one of them, but as you draw away from him, he's able to catch you in the leg and hobble you slightly. Luckily, in 0G, you don't have to put weight on that leg right now, but you imagine that is going to smart significantly. That is going to be 4 pilot damage, minus your 1, so 3 total.
3. Okay. Cool.
All right, Rock.
I don't really have any flashy other moves here, so I'm just going to shoot at him with my light signature weapon.
All right, you're going to just try and open up on him, see what you can do.
Well, there's his front side and his back side have weak spots, right?
That's correct. The back, slightly smaller, but in a vital location.
I'm not sure which way he's facing me right now, but...
You're probably to one side of the room. You can determine where you think you are. Whether or not Orion dodged towards you or away from you is going to determine what way the assassin's facing.
Probably away from...
Yeah, so you're probably behind him then.
All right. I was just going to use Assault again for this one. If he doesn't go down after I use my ammo here, I'm going to jump towards my medium signature weapon.
All right, yeah, absolutely. So you're going to just draw aim and try and fire with your light signature weapon to get like a precision shot in his back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go for it. It's going to be risky, but that don't matter. Yeah, 21's great. You are of Deadeye. As he turns to chase Orion around the room, you can all hear this kind of mechanical, slightly more hastened breathing echoing through the room as he is just slicing through things in a kind of like a dead march towards Orion, using the clamping of his feet on the ground to give him kind of like a solid step in that direction. Rock, you just take your time to aim and just squeeze off one very vital round, and just you see him freeze when you shoot him and just like start to wobble a little bit, and then like seems to forget that he was chasing Orion and just kind of like push back towards the wall to like keep you all in front of him, and he pulls his arms up in front of his front as he puts his back to the wall, kind of like keeping his arms in front of his exposed front as he puts his back to the wall, as he kind of backs off a little bit. He almost looks like a cornered animal a little bit as he backs away from all of you. And you just see his whole upper body heaving up and down as you see his shoulders going up and down, and hear this ragged mechanical breathing. And you just hear this like slightly like oddly pitched voice coming out from under the mask that just says,
All right, I'll let you live.
Aw, damn, I was gonna use take control and try to talk him down.
Do we all hear this?
yeah.
I'll say,
Told you
who
to
are
talk to
you?
us.
Are we out of combat? Are we out of
You guys
okay.
have succeeded. You've completed the combat challenge. You have forced him to, at least for now, negotiate or surrender or back off, as the case may be.
Evelene is going to climb up and point her gun at Chainsaw Guy. Yes, I know it's useless, but he doesn't know that.
Fair.
I'll just say, who are you?
You hear him breathing a little bit, and then as he's talking, you can hear the pitched voice change from this like oddly mechanical pitched voice to a voice that you're already familiar with. As he says,
I am Commander
Crustatius Ripkus.
I'll say, why are you working so hard to prevent this meeting from taking place?
It's my job.
Is it worth all this trouble?
I've done dangerous, deadly missions for a price tag before. It's what they ask of you.
What are they paying you?
A lot.
Well, we need this gate turned back on.
Through all this, you can still hear like the ragged breathing, and just says, I know when I'm beat. If you let my men out of here safely, we'll turn control of the gate station over to you.
It sounds like something that can be arranged.
Take off those chainsaws then, why don't you?
They're not chainsaws.
They are
Of course.
part of my arm.
I don't actually say this, but take off your arms.
I'll say we're going to need assurances that you turn off the gate before we let your men go.
You let my men go, and the tech that we brought with us to turn off the gate, we'll leave them here with you.
And you'll stay with us as well until the gate's off.
No deal. I leave with my ship. I'll also call off the ship so it doesn't kill your stupid friend.
I think they're handling themselves pretty well.
We don't know what's going on outside right now.
You load up. Well, I know that, but
Yeah.
there's the art of a bluff, you see. I'll say, Tim. Well, you load up your men on the ship, but you aren't getting on your ship until we see the gate activated. Once it is, you can go get on your ship. We'll go our separate ways.
Go ahead and make a pilot check. See if you can convince him.
Okay. Let me read my pilot checks. I might have two possibilities here.
Bluff check or a diplomacy check.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta have something for this.
Yeah, probably charm. Possibly take control. I need to read take control. You can additionally take control of a situation, force those present to listen, calm down, stop moving, stop what they're doing. I don't think so, because he's already calmed down. He's already listening. I think take control would apply if I want to get him in a mood where he's ready to negotiate. But we're already negotiating. So charm, I think I would use. Perform diplomacy between two parties.
Yeah, that
I'll
makes
use
sense.
charm.
Yeah, because you already have them in a point where he's receptive, right?
Exactly.
Like, taking control would get him to receptive. Charm is for the actual. Yeah.
Right. Once he's in the receptive mood, then you charm him. You wine and dine him.
Riddle him full of bullets until he's in a more receptive mood.
All right. So yeah, I'll use charm. Let me roll that. As soon as I find my tab that has roll 20. Okay. No difficulty. What's with these bad rolls? I rolled a 9.
He will just shake his head and say, "No deal. I leave with my ship. We'll leave the person for you. That's all I'm willing to do, or I'm calling my men in here to back me up."
Did we already kill them?
He has all
there's
the
still a
people in the
couple-
control room next door.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's more people in the control room.
Oh.
I'll
You're
say,
obviously very skilled, and they won't stand a chance. But if they distract you, I could take you out and get away. I just would rather them leave alive with me.
all right. Well, can you take us to your tech?
Is in the next room.
All right. Well, lead the way.
He lifts one hand up to his ear, and you see him tap the side of his mask. And he says, "Dole 5 red." And then the door opens, leading to the command room.
All right.
I've given the signal to my men to stand down.
I'll point my shotgun at his back, and I'll say, all the same, I'd be more comfortable if.
Oh, he's still
you
standing
went in
defensively,
first.
like with his back against the wall and his arms up.
Okay.
He doesn't trust you.
Okay.
He knows you're
I'll
working with the broken chain or the ruined chain. Like, as far as he's concerned, you're like an underworld person. Like, he doesn't know your reputation.
All right. Well, I'd like you to go in first, please.
He like sides along the wall, like keeping one eye like pointed towards you the whole way until he gets in the room. Yeah,
He's
you
really
see.
thinking, where have I seen that guy?
Yeah. He's like,
You look familiar.
you see in this very scary mask the glint of recognition.
It's like, I know this is weird, but before I go, could I get an autograph on one of my chainsaw arms?
He pushes. Yeah, he pushes into the room. You see that there are some barricades. These are the same kind of barricades that those of you who were going through the walls saw when you looked into this control room previously.
Yeah.
And as he enters the room, he just goes, "All right, everyone, we're calling this off. Back off. We're leaving." And you see like some people in the room like back away from various control stations in the room and like move over to where he is and kind of like group up around him.
I'll say, tell your men to drop their weapons and kick them at the door.
As they float through space.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting we're in 0G.
But, I mean, they can toss them at the door, I guess, so it'll eventually float over.
You're just gonna have
I'll
to
just
trust me. I'm not disarming them. You could betray us.
Well,
We've given up our barricades. We're not in a defensive position. You either take this or fight us. You can try to do something else to make him do what you want, but he is your previous failed charm roll has not put him at ease.
yeah. All right.
He's basically doing the thing where you're both pointing weapons at each other, and he just wants you both to like rotate around each other so that you're where he was and he's where you were, so you can separate your different ways. You know what I mean? He basically wants to be like, listen, you come in here, we leave, but that's all he wants from you.
Okay, so I'll just say to the others, I'm going in there. You get ready. If something goes south, you get ready to charge in there, guns blazing. But I want to resolve this peacefully.
You see like a willowy man in kind of like black clothing with like a build black ball cap with some sort of like neon green symbol on it. He has what looks to be very antique looking headphones around his neck. And he has like a black leather messenger bag. And he has like sweatbands on his wrist and all kinds of tattoos on his arms, like kick over, like he's going over to where Ripkus is. And Ripkus like holds up one of his hands and is like, you stay. And the guy like looks confused, is like, we're giving you to them. He's like, hey, that wasn't part of the deal. It is now.
Before Astro moves into the room, Dyne is going to move over to him and basically ask for his Omni-Hook so he can send a message to Artemis. Unless people have forgotten, Artemis currently is defensive.
Yeah. So I'll unstrap the Omni-Hook and hand it to you, and then I'll kind of kick off and float into the room.
And while this is happening, the message Dyne is going to send is basically tells Artemis, hostiles leaving, do not engage or shoot at them unless they try to occupy mechs.
You get a message back fairly quickly. What does occupy mean exactly?
Get into. I'll just send back and then close the Omni-Hook.
Okay.
Oh.
I knew what she was thinking.
Once I kick in to the room, I'll say to the tech, all right, you're going to reactivate the gate for us. If you can do that, no harm will come to you.
He like looks over at Commander Ripkus, and Ripkus says, they're taking you now, bud. Good luck. And then he has all of his people float over to the far door of the control room, and they're leaving unless you stop them.
I'll let them leave.
All right. Yeah, they leave out of the far door of the control room, going out the other side of the station, or the other side of this room. You don't know where they're heading exactly.
All right. I'll say to Dyne, did you tell Artemis about the situation here?
I did. Hopefully she won't put any holes in the station.
All right. Well, let's just get this gate up and running and try to put as much distance between us as we can.
Meanwhile, while they're doing that, I'm going to relay a message to Artemis to send to Torsay about what has happened inside. That way she knows what's happening.
Yeah, before you get a chance to do it, you hear a doo-doo, like the sound of an incoming message, and Artemis comes on and just says, Torsay has told me to tell you that it appears that the enemy ship is no longer firing on the Relst, and is positioning towards docking with the gate station and wants to know what to do.
I'll relay back. We made a deal with the hostiles. They are leaving. We're going to reactivate the gate. Let them leave. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, a couple seconds go by, and Artemis comes back on and says, I think she was unduly happy with this outcome, and then turns off the communicator.
Dyne's just going to roll his eyes and then give the Omni-Hook back to Astro.
Artemis is unduly disappointed with this outcome.
Dyne is just going to look at the
Artemis
group
is
and go,
disappointed.
Dyne is going to look at the group and go, Torsay is happy about this outcome, but she won't be happy when she sees us, as everyone is bleeding out of everywhere.
You guys are pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Not great.
So yeah, do you guys move into the control room?
Yeah, I'll go up to the tech guy and I'll say, all right, here's the deal. You get this gate up and running, and we won't have any quarrel with you. We can drop you off at a station or planet, whatever's along the way. But we have no interest in keeping prisoners.
Oh, good. You better not.
Okay, but watch the tone of voice here.
You don't know who you're dealing with.
All we need is this gate up and running, and we don't have to have words with each other.
Oh, what? Now you're too good for me?
I don't know what your deal is, buddy.
He's reloading my gun and
this guy is coming off super hostile at you.
Yeah, he
has no weapons. He's just being real shitty at you for some reason.
Yeah, I'll say, okay, listen, because I'm not sure you completely grasp your situation here. We are armed. We have guns. We would like you to turn on the gate. If you refuse to cooperate, we can still turn on the gate. It's just going to take us longer. So really, I don't think this is the hill you want to die on. Literally.
Whoa. We can talk about this. He seems all of a sudden completely...
Evelyn just looks at Astro. Can we just kill him? Like, honestly, this conversation is going to kill me by the time it ends.
As Dyne gets up, he moves over to Evelyn to try and do just basic bandages on her wounds. He just goes, space is a pretty big hill.
Oh yeah, and Evan looks down at her very clearly bleeding arm, like, oh yeah, should probably take care of that, huh?
All right. Obviously, I'm gonna let you slide. You don't know you're talking to Ruination Conditioning, the best hacker Sid has to offer.
Wow. Well, it is an honor to meet you. He gives him a little fake bow.
Damn straight.
If you wouldn't mind, get started on this gate.
He looks at the control panel.
Ruination.
I'll pick up my shotgun and kind of hold it threateningly at him.
Whoa. We don't have to get unfriendly here. And he pushes himself over to the control panel.
I agree. I'll put my shotgun back down.
Yeah, he gets to work. You see him pull out a small, what looks like a rolled up piece of plastic or soft plastic. He unrolls it, and it is a keyboard. That he plugs into, he lays it on top of the keyboard that's already there for this control system. Right. But he puts down his own little flat rubber keyboard and plugs it into the system controls. He's like, all right, get back and stand back.
Does he put on his fingerless hacker gloves too?
He wears black sweatbands on his wrist, not fingerless gloves. Okay.
Nice.
And he just holds his hands up in the air and he wiggles his fingers get ready for the maestro to play. And he lowers his hands on the keyboard. And Astro, you have been learning how to do hacking and stuff.
Yeah.
He just runs a command and everything turns back on.
So he's not doing anything special.
No, he had something preloaded. He just hit on. He hit the run button.
Astro just rolls his eyes. It's whatever.
Does he have a Google Glass thing going on? Or I'm trying to think of those stereotypical hacker stuff.
Oh no. He doesn't have any lenses.
Hey, we
or
established he has armbands, so.
Well, hold up. Do stereotypical hackers have Google Glass? Is that like a thing that I was unaware of?
I mean, at least in all my security training for work, like they always show hackers wearing like hoodies and Google glasses.
Yeah.
Hoodies, sure.
I was gonna say, like, I had security training for work, and I think I've linked this picture to my friends before. But it's like this guy wearing like all black and a black hoodie, and he's wearing like these blue tinted sunglasses while sitting at a computer, and there's no background behind him. It's just a sea of blue data and numbers behind him, and he's like looking really aggressively at the computer, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Just go.
This
go
guy is who that is, by the way. The guy who's in the room with you.
Just go on like iStock or something and search hacker.
stock picture for hacker. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, he quickly gets the machines running again, and he goes, "Oh, that's not good."
What?
Oh, I just, I turned the systems back on. I coaxed this giant mechanical beast back to life. And it seems like it is putting out a distress signal to Corsac now.
Well, that is a good enough reason for us to get out of here, so let's do that quickly.
What did you think was going to happen?
I thought you were the maestro, and you can you could avoid stuff like that.
Listen, you wanted it running. If I turned off that emergency signal, the system wouldn't be fully running. I might not be able to get the gate back on.
Whatever. We're out of here anyway.
You wouldn't get it, okay? But like, these things are complicated. Do you know anyone else who could reprogram a gate station?
Honestly, I probably could have done it faster, if not me. Torsay definitely could have, but doesn't
Never
matter.
Heard of them. You don't exist.
Well, doesn't matter if it's up and running now. It's time to skedaddle.
Dyne just mumbles under his breath, I really want to give him to Artemis for target practice, but not now.
Maybe if we can, and I'll whisper back, like, maybe if we can counter him again. Honestly, this guy is giving me strong recurring character vibes, so I'm scared for the day Bob brings him out again.
All right,
he's
fellas.
probably going to be locked up on our ship.
Well, let's get out of here. How about?
Okay. First thing you said that made sense. Let's go.
Wait, was that
Come on, would you call yourself again?
My name is Ruination Conditioning.
Oh God! All right, Ruination, come on.
Continuing?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Jay.
Did you say Ruination continuing?
No, common mistake. I don't expect you to understand handles.
Are you kidding me? My 5-year-old nephew who plays video games can understand handles.
Doesn't say much for you, does it?
All right, come on, Ruination, whatever your name is. Let's go.
Wait, so I said his name back, and he said no?
His name is Ruination Conditioning, not continuing. Yeah.
I did not hear that.
All right, so we start moving back towards the hangar, and then as we go back, Dyne goes, "Okay, so who's the guy riding with?"
Not it.
I'll put him in my mech.
Oh,
Why is he coming with us?
You have MCs, do you?
I'm not gonna leave him behind.
Why not?
I'm fine with that.
Whoa. You don't want to get on Sid's bad side, okay?
I'm sure we don't.
How much
your
are you
name's
paying
Sid.
Sid. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you're some kind of space troglodytes. Sid,
All right, this is getting annoying.
CDD,
Evelene,
know him?
Evelene grabs him by the shirt collar and drags him to
Whoa,
her mech.
this strong little lady.
As
you just drag him through zero
I'm not
G.
listening. I just say, so help me, I will beat you off the side with my gun if you don't get your ass in the mech.
Again, why are we taking him?
I told him if he helped us, I'd drop him off at a station or planet along the way.
So?
So that's what I told him. Not going to leave him behind.
I'm already forcing him into the mech.
Hey.
I'm making him take the most uncomfortable seat possible.
So is he going
just
in your
lets
mech?
you completely overpower him. Evelyn just shoves him into the corner of.
So I'm just.
Whose cockpit are you shoving him into, Chimera?
It didn't occur to me till just now. I could shove him in any cockpit I want, but I'm shoving him into mine.
Okay, so Evelyn just takes him and then shoves him in the back of her heavily modified very spiky mech, and it's already pretty uncomfortable and bare bones, and it's just hey, watch it.
I'll point to a random panel and say, don't put too much weight on that. That causes the whole thing to the battery to die out. So don't just be careful. That's not actually true. She's just trying to make him scared of shit.
This guy is basically that little girl from that show that's like, do you know anything about hackers? Can you jam with the console cowboys and cyberspace?
He's like if that was a dude who was 10 years older than that and still that annoying.
Honestly, I'm just thinking of half the cast from the Hackers film.
Oh God.
He's kind of like in the hacker from that Die Hard movie. If he was way less cool.
I was about to say I like Justin Long. I don't actually remember his character's name.
Next Wave, Dreamwave, Cyberpunk.
I'm almost certain, if historical movies are a thing in this era, he's seeking hackers, and he probably wanted to do Crash Overdrive or something, but it was already taken.
You don't know. You don't know how they work, but you do know he's quite annoying, and you've shoved him into the back of your Max cockpit.
Yep.
All right, let's
one
go.
way to make him shut up. We'll make him watch every Astro Jamin movie in history.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay.
So you guys are heading back to your ship?
Yep. We'll send a message to Torsay that we're returning to ship.
All right. You guys start heading out. You get a report directly from Torsay. She comes on the line as you guys are heading over. You see her face pop up on screen. Oh, I'm glad you guys are okay. So the fees due already left. So the Relst is returning. We're rendezvousing. I assume we need to get out of here right away.
We need to because it's broadcasting an emergency signal to Corsac. Let's get out of here.
Gotcha.
That's right.
Gotcha. All right. Get aboard, and I'm just going to punch us to jump right as you get on board. You can meet me up in the cockpit when we reach our destination.
Perfect. We are double timing it over.
All right, and as you guys climb in the sides of the DBC and get your mechs locked into position, you don't have enough time to get out, so you just kind of make sure you're strapped in as good as possible as Torsay moves the ship to jump position, and both you and the Relst take the gate to the next system. And as you are deposited the next system over, everything comes to a halt. You feel the odd feeling of odd to define inertia when you exit warp fade, as you know you have reached the other side.
Excellent.
Cool.
I wasn't sure we'd survive that.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
All right,
all limbs attached.
You guys successfully turned on the gate station, got back to the ship, and got to the next system, while only suffering horrible wounds and picking up a very annoying passenger. So we'll call this a mixed victory. But But yeah, why don't we call it for the first part of tonight's session, and when we come back, we'll see where we go from here.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I